Well, it's the day after Christmas, December 26th.
You're supposed to try to use your GoPro thing.
Well, I'm going to, but right now all I have is my iPhone. I'm not using the GoPro. I'm sitting down. Just got done raking all of this. Darren's getting that little pile right there, but I raked all of this here and down over that little hill to the bank. Got it all put into the pile. We're burning it all. This stuff is hard to rake. It's all down into the, you can still see there's still some more right there. Chestnuts. This tree right here is a chestnut tree, and it lets a lot down. And it gets all tied up into the, see, it's all down inside there, the yard, and it's really tough on the dog's feet because there's spikes coming up, and we still didn't get it all. I mean, you can look around, you can see we got more. This is where it started decomposing. There's just a bunch of it there. So the dogs don't like to run down around here because they hurt their feet. So I try to get as much up as I can. Silly me, I'm going to remind myself next year, pick them up. And while they're still whole, get them put into a pile down there by the fire pit. That way we can just burn them all, and they're all right there already, and I'm not dealing with trying to clean up all of this. Well, we had, if you remember, back in August, I think it was August 9th, we had 3 cord of wood brought in, and we filled the whole area. We're down to 1 stack left. That's it. We go through a lot of wood. Now, granted, we have been heating with nothing but the wood. So, we've gone through, we got like 1 row left, which is only like a face cord. Maybe a little bit more. The rest of it's gone. We burned it all already. It got pretty cold at night. It was dipping into the teens and low 20s at night. And we try and keep the fire going. And furnace clicked on a couple times. We kept the furnace on 63. That way if it got down below 63 it would kick on. But it's kicked on a few times. I'm going to check the oil and see how the oil is on it. We're just trying to clean up a little bit. It's a nice day. It's 41. Sunshine, clear skies. Look at that. Clear skies. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the smoke. It's all coming from the fire. But clear skies. It's a gorgeous day. Sun's shining. A little nippy. But when you're working, I already turned around and took my sweatshirt off. All I got is a t-shirt on now. Because it's just the time. Christmas was great. I hope your Christmas was great. I hope you got everything you wanted. We got what we wanted. We usually, Darren and I go out for our Christmas gift to each other. We usually go to the symphony or an orchestra or play or something. We're very cultural. We like that sort of stuff, but this year, I mean, we usually spend about $200 on tickets, and then we go out to eat, and that's usually about another $100. It's $300 we usually spend. This year, we decided do something a little different. And we bought something we can really use. So I'm going to give you a peek at it. After much research, much research. See that? That's our peak. This is all of the wood that was on our porch. We had to put it somewhere, so we got it stacked up on top of pallets and stuff, and to use this spring. We'll be using that to help build the pole barn and chicken coop and stuff like that. So, but see the pipe coming out the window? That gives you a little preview of what we have. And get ready. Get ready for it. I have to walk slow. It's very muddy here. I think this is open. Oh, it's not open. I thought that's how you came out. All right, well, get ready for it. I'll show you at the end of the video, so you'll have to stay tuned all the way to the end to see what it is. But we got an excellent Christmas gift. We got excited about it. It's working awesome. And it's definitely cutting down on the wood usage. Wood, yes, we have a lot of woods, but as I explained earlier in an earlier video, the problem with ours is that none of it's cut and seasoned. We have a pile here. We got a little pile over there. I don't know if you can see it. Hope you can see that. But it's not enough even to get us through one winter. So this year, since last year we didn't have time to do any cutting of wood or anything, just what we have absolutely necessary. All right, we had a walnut tree go down over there. We cut that up, but we're going to be using that for a mantle. It's walnut. I am not going to burn walnut and cut down walnut just for a fire, because we got offered, we have 31 cherry trees, and that's a cherry tree right there, that great big thing, and then the one right next to it, that great big thing, that's cherry. That one here, that's a walnut, but this one and this big one here is a cherry, and then this one is our chestnut. But we have 31 cherry trees the size of this, and they're huge, massive. And we have 7 walnut trees about the size of that one, and again, that one's huge also. And we got offered $4,200 to come and take them. So we're debating that. That's money in the bank. $4,200 can buy me a lot of firewood that these won't even begin to supply me. So we are thinking about letting them come in this spring and taking them. And for the money, walnut is the most expensive here. They pay about $300 a tree, $400 a tree, depending on the size. Cherry trees, about $125, $150 per tree is what they'll give us. I sound like I'm out of breath because I'm hot. I'm so hot. I'm sweating from raking all of that. I'm just trying to cool down. But, yeah, where was I? I just lost my train of thought. Oh, the trees. So we're thinking about letting them take those trees, and then all the big limbs and everything that they leave, we'll cut that up into firewood and mulch the rest of the twigs and stuff and the branches. and we'll use all of the mulch and everything for our garden. And then we have a bunch of trees that are already down. We got a ton of trees that need to be cut. That whole hillside over there, if you see it over there, I am not walking into the field, it's all muddy. But all the trees and everything, there's so many trees all close together that we're going to be going through and cutting down. Some of the ones that are not growing nicely, ones that look like they're diseased, clearing some spaces and stuff for the other trees to get larger and more mature. Some of the smaller ones that are just twigs, we're going to get rid of those so they don't get any bigger. But a lot of trees are dead or about to die or something, because we have a lot of wild grapevines here in PA, and they grow up the trees and they kill the trees. So that's like one of the biggest things that kill the trees and stuff. So we've been, anywhere we've been seeing any, we've been cutting them at the bottom. They're already all the way up in the tree. There's no way to get rid of them out of the tree. But if the tree's in still good shape, we just cut the grapevine so they can't grow anymore, and it dies off. And eventually it will actually decompose right on the tree and fall. So it takes a few years, but it will happen. And then those trees will be good. So that's what we're going to be doing in the summer, is picking and choosing. We'll be cutting a bunch of firewood, but again, the firewood, there's nothing that we can do with it next year. We cannot burn it. It has to be seasoned. Don't ever try and burn. If you got a wood burner, or or a fireplace or something, you want your wood seasoned at least a whole year. And the best is at least 2 years. Reason for that is it will develop a lot of creosote in your chimney, and you'll be cleaning it constantly. You're going to be worried about starting a chimney fire. So you really need to make sure it's seasoned. So we are going to be buying firewood again next year, and probably the year after that. And our firewood here, we get 3 cord delivered for $460. So that's basically $920. We're going to need about 6 cord for the year. That's $920 for a year. And then we'll have our own wood to start burning, and that won't cost us anything. But in thinking about all of that, we had to sit there and come up with an idea on what are we going to do for supplemental heat, because the wood goes out in the middle of the night. I don't want the house to be down to 20 degrees. I got kids. I don't want them getting sick over this. It's not fair to them to have to freeze in a house because we're trying to burn all wood. So we do have the oil furnace, which has been turning on every once in a while if the fire goes out in the middle of the night and we don't get to it in time to warm it up again. It's been coming on, but we paid $2.62 a gallon for oil this year. Last year we only paid $160. We have a 1,000-gallon tank. So last year it costed us $1,600. That 1,000 gallons lasted us all winter long. So $1,600 is not too bad to get you through an entire year. This year, the cheapest price that we were able to get was $262, and $2,600 is just too much money to spend. So we only got 600 gallons. And we've been watching that and keeping an eye on that and trying not to use it because it's up to $3 and some now. So right now is not the time. I'm going to keep an eye out and watch next year to see if it goes down any. As soon as it goes down into a manageable range, I'll fill the tanks up and we'll have that for next year. But we had to come up with an idea of how we're going to be able to heat the house and keep the basement warm too, because that seems to be our biggest issue, is the cold air is coming up through the basement. The floors are freezing on the first floor, which again makes it hard for the wood burner to keep the first and second floor warm. The second floor is always warm, by the way. I mean, all the heat rises, so it's warm. But when the fire goes out and everything, it gets cold up there too. So we came up after lots of research. We looked at propane. We looked at pellet stoves. We looked at another wood burner. We looked at, what else did we look at, hon? Propane heater, pellet stoves, another wood burner, wood furnace, electric heaters. Yeah, we looked at electric heaters. We looked at every single option and what the cost would end up being for us. Now, our cost will not be your cost, but we're in Southwest PA. Cost of living is pretty low here. So if you're in a higher cost of living than the Pittsburgh region, you know, it's going to go, you know, accordingly. But we are low cost living here. Well, it's been a couple hours now. Still burning out there. I just piled it all up and it's just smoldering. It's about ready to take off. But I thought I'd bring you in. We had ham for Christmas, so I'm going to make some split pea soup with the ham. So I have an Instapot 8-quart. So the first thing I'm going to do is just let that go. I got a saute. I have 1 onion, 2 celery stalks, and 2 carrots diced up with 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And I'm going to let that saute. Yeah, that's what it's called. Saute. That's mine. You get the ham out. I saved the ham bone. So I'm going to let that go and let me get a spoon. So, and I got 3 tablespoons of butter in here, and we're just going to let that saute in here. That takes a while to do. One of my favorite bloggers on YouTube is Lumina Acres. I don't know, check them out. And they're actually really good. And he does a lot of Instapot meals. And it was his blog that actually made us buy one. Because we saw how quick he was putting together some meals. And I was like, wow, that's so great. And I actually work full time, so that just makes it so much easier. And the other thing it's really nice, although he eats, you will find a lot of chicken soup. But one of the things that I really like, though, is he does make some different meals that we've never had. And it was kind of nice to see what other people are eating for dinner, give you some ideas. And I thought, well, you know what? It might be good to maybe do a couple of these here and there and just show you what we're going to have for dinner. So for dinner tonight, we are going to have, and it's steaming. Let me get that. There we go. One of the things that we're going to do and is just maybe show you like once or twice a week, just what we're gonna have for dinner and give you some ideas. So we're just gonna let this saute just a little bit. You see the onions are starting to get transparent, so that's about all you do is just wait till they get transparent. There we go. So after this is all done sauteing and it looks really good, smells awesome. Now you put in 6 cups of broth, and I am using some either broth, chicken broth, or some water. I am using some rabbit broth that we have left over. So that was 2. I can't, with our rabbits, I took a bunch of their bones and stuff and made a bunch of broth. So I'm adding in 2 cups of rabbit broth, because you'll find that if you use rabbit broth, it's actually very, very strong broth. So 2 cups, you want to like half and half it at least. So I'm doing actually 2 cups of rabbit broth and 4 cups of water. Put 2 bay leaves in.
The camera doesn't look like it's focusing.
And I have this ham bone from Christmas ham. So I'm going to throw that in. I also have some bits and pieces of ham. So we're going to go ahead and throw the little couple pieces and bits and stuff in. Because nobody will eat this stuff. And the dogs are at my feet. There we go. And you can make them whole, any size you want. The ham bone, we will actually, when it's done, cut off all of the meat from that bone. And I just don't want a lot of fat or anything in it, so I try and avoid real fatty pieces. And the dogs get to chill out with that. And then that's it. We're going to put it on. I am going to hit manual. Actually, there's no way to actually undo that, is there? I don't know. I don't know enough about the Instapot yet. We're going to turn that on. Shut it off by unplugging it for a minute, because I don't know how to get it to stop sauteing.
Push the off button.
There's no off button, that's just it. So I'm going to hit manual. I'm going to hit, let me find it, soup broth, and it's set for 30 minutes, and that's what we want. And we're going to go ahead and lock that, and that's it. We're going to wait 30 minutes and it'll be done. Alright. Get down. Let's stop. Alright, well, I noticed that I didn't actually show the peas going in. The peas did go in, by the way. And you put in 1 pound of peas. I'm going to grab a spoon. And this is finished. I want to put this here. There we go. And I'm going to remove the bone, the ham bone. If I can get a hold of it without hurting myself. I can't get it out. Oh, let's try it. strips. And all I'm going to do is just lightly scrape. The meat's coming right off. And this meat will go right back into the soup. And the bone will go to the dog. And this meat now, since it's going through a pressure cooker, it's like basically falling apart. Like to have a little bit of the peas in there. Not that they're hard or anything, but the split peas, I kind of like to see them, and there's very little. So if you're going to do this recipe, I'll go through it again. It's 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 onion, 2 stalks of celery, and 2 large carrots, all diced up. You saute them in the Instapot till the onions become translucent. You add 6 cups of broth or water. You could do half and half. Chicken broth, vegetable broth, just need 6 cups. I myself had 2 cups of some rabbit broth that we had canned last year, which is a very strong broth. So I used 2 cups of rabbit broth and 4 cups of water. You add 2 bay leaves, 1 tablespoon of salt, and I actually like to use the Himalayan salt, which is pink salt. So 1 tablespoon of salt and 1/2 tablespoon of pepper. I think the salt and pepper are perfect. The broth that I made from my broth had no sodium in it, so that might depend on what you're using. If you're using store-bought, you know, check the sodium or get low sodium, or you cut down on the salt that you add in depending on what kind of broth that you're putting in. But I think the salt and the spice is all perfect. And you add in 1 pound of your split peas. They just need to be washed. They do not have to soak. You just add those straight in. And then we had a ham bone. You don't have to have a ham bone. You can just add in some ham. If you want to make this vegan, you can use vegetable broth and then not add any other meat. So that's great for vegan. Also vegetarian, same thing. Just add vegetable broth and don't add any of the ham or anything, and that would be a great vegetarian dish as well. Other than that, I think this turned out really, really well. I love the taste. The taste is awesome. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is that whatever's left over, I am going to end up freezing. I'll put them in some freezer bags, and I'll just pop them in the freezer. That way they lay nice and flat, and when they freeze that way, it doesn't take up much room. And then that way I could just put them back into the Instapot, warm it, and we have a meal for lunch or something. I could also use the microwave. I think all in all, this dinner is going to be a really good dinner. Now you can also have crackers with this, or you just eat it like this. But for us, like I said, this is the day after Christmas. We have some dinner rolls left over from yesterday, so I'm going to pop those in the microwave for 10 seconds just to make them nice and soft and warm. And that is our meal for the night. So thanks a lot for watching, and you know what, if you like some more, hit the like button, and I'll do more of the dinners if that's what you want to see. Woohoo! There it is! Woohoo! We vented it going out the window. That's what you saw out there. This is double-walled pipe. We ended up having to line our walls with this, I don't know what you call it, this insulation stuff. What that does is that actually helps keep out a lot of the cold air. So that's the beam that we had put in. And we just started this, so it should be getting ready to light itself. Oh, one popped up. This has been doing so great. This is the US stove. K60. It'll heat about 2,200 square feet. It's small. It's only about 3 feet tall, 2 feet deep, 2 feet wide. It's really nice. Give you perspective. I mean, that's my hand. It's not very big. And here, I don't know if you can see, but it's only coming up to my waist, and it's on blocks. That way we were able to level it. So it's very small and it's nice. Has a 3-foot vent, or a 3-inch vent that goes out. This was separate, but we got this at Tractor Supply for, I believe it was $2.98. And the chicken's out there checking things out. She is the only one that gets out. She goes back in at night, but she comes out during the day, and she lays eggs in through the wood piles, which we gotta go hunt. But anyways, back to this. The vent pipe, everything comes. The elbow out there that rotates so you can make sure it's pointing down. All of the pipe, it gives you 5 straight sections, and we only needed 3. We're going about 3 feet up, and then they give you the elbow, and they also give you the adapter on the bottom. The only thing you got to buy is, and this adapter hooks onto the pellet stove, and you have to buy the silicone sealant, which high heat silicone sealant, which I ended up finding out, went to Lowe's and looked to see if they had any, and what they had only went up to 600 degrees, and that doesn't do. So I asked the guy, did he have any, and he says Lowe's does not carry it no more, and he says go to Tractor Supply. So just go to Tractor Supply. It's $5.98. It's a small tube. I mean, it's like this big. So it's we used about half of it. We did this, and then we also, on the outside there, I needed something to go around like this area right here, but on the outside, something to be able to seal it so the air didn't come through this crack. So we ended up using it outside as well and went around. And there's the smoke starting to go out, so that means it's lit. And it's starting to light right now. Once it lights, this thing does kick off a lot of heat. We have it on its lowest setting. We end up buying, there it goes, it lit. So that's what it will do. It'll just do that, and it'll burn all of the pellets and stuff down to basically nothing. So, but it's going to flame up and burn all those pellets real quick, and then it'll just keep putting pellets out every couple of seconds, and it'll just burn them as it goes. This holds about 60 pounds of pellets, which you just open the top up, and there's the pellets. And there's it rotates, it has an auger inside, and that auger will just keep spinning to make sure that none of them are clumped together or anything. So it unclumps them if they are, but they shouldn't be. And then it just spits them out little, you know, every couple seconds one will drop. So this holds about 60 pounds. You buy the wood pellets, either by bag, or you could buy a ton of them, which is 1 ton is 50 bags. These are 40-pound bags, and we have found that you're going to want some premium pellets. Don't get the cheap stuff. Now we went to Rural King, and we had one bag, half a bag of that left over from our little experiment that we tried to burn pellets in our wood stove to see if they burn, and yes they do, by the way. But we had half a bag left over, and we used that bag first, and let me just say it was really nice. It did a really good job. There was no ash left over from them. The pellets didn't come out and bounce out. Everything was good. We went back down to Rural King on Sunday in hopes to get, or no, Saturday, in hopes to get more, but they were all out. So we ended up going right down the street, and this is from Busy Beaver. And this is a hardwood and pellet fuel premium plus, and this is a very good one too. They are both really good. So we definitely see a difference though. This one's hardwood, and I don't know if the other one said it was hardwood also, but it was actually a good pellet also, but it was lighter in color from Rural King. But I can't complain, it did a really good job. You know, no ash afterwards, or very, very little ash afterwards, and after we burned out half a bag, so I was really impressed. That's why we were going to go back and get more, but unfortunately they were all out, so these were on sale. Rural King has 40-pound bags for, I want to say it's $3.79 a bag, or yeah, $3.79 a bag. They're 40-pound bags, and you burn approximately, on the low setting, 1 bag a day. You can also buy these by the ton at Rural King for $189 a ton. So it's $189 for 50 bags, which is even cheaper. And basically, 1 bag, 1 day. So you figure out you get 50 bags, that's $189. That'll get you through 50 days, so almost 2 months. We here in Southwest PA, we have October, November, December, January, February, March, April. We have 7 months of cold weather in which you need heat. With October and April being on and off, intermittent depending on the weather. Sometimes it gets warm and you don't need it. Sometimes it gets cooler though and you do at night. So we do have 7 months of cold weather that needs to have heat. The fan just kicked on and it comes right out here, and it's nice and warm. So 1 bag, so 50 bags, $189 will get you through 2 months. So basically we'll just say 200. We have 7 months, so we need basically 3 of those. 3.5 maybe, so we'll say 3, so that's $600, and this will get us through the entire winter on $600. Now remember, we're spending $460 for 3-cord of wood, and we need 6 cord to get us through the winter, so that's $920 just in wood if we're going to burn just wood. But we have noticed that we don't have to burn as much wood with this thing. We got this on sale at Tractor Supply. Let me just tell you, it was the best deal that we could find. We were looking for a used one. Something that heats really good in the wintertime. As you notice here in our basement, all of our water lines and stuff are here, and our water over there and softener. All the water lines are in this area, and this area is not heated at all, even when the furnace is on. The only thing we have in here, this is all cold air return. There's no heat in this area. So that's why we ended up putting it here. So this is a dual purpose for us. It's not only keeping our water pipes from freezing, our drain pipes from freezing, but it's also providing all of the heat throughout the top and keeping our floors warm, which then also goes up. And with the cold air return right here, there are some vents. I don't know if you can see it. There's a vent here and stuff. So warm air actually goes up there and actually goes through the house, through the cold air return, which is pretty cool. Because cold air return, you think, oh, only cold air comes down, but you end up finding out that the heat is actually going up through and heating the house through the cold air return. So that is what we ended up getting, was the pellet stove. We found that it's really nice, easy to use. We got right now just 20 bags of pellets. We're hoping that Rural King will get some, and we could go get maybe a ton. Here's our 2 and 2. These are all 250-gallon tanks. This is for our oil furnace that's over here. Now we were talking about taking the wood burning furnace, because we do have 2 over here. We have, I don't know, you can barely see, we have the oil burning furnace, and then this is a wood burning furnace, which is attached to the air duct and everything of the oil furnace. So when this gets hot enough, there is a blower down here. As you can see that, there's a blower there that will actually blow all the hot air out of here and up into all the ductwork of the house. Now we're not sure if we're going to take that off yet or not, but we're debating that. We don't have a liner in this chimney, and that's our biggest concern. We did disconnect it. It was going straight over into there. We did disconnect it and cover that. But there's no liner in here, in this chimney on this side. The other side is, there is a liner, but it only stops at the upstairs on the first floor because it goes to our wood burner. But this side does not have a liner, and we had the guy who was putting in the liner, we were going to try and have one put in, and he said we couldn't get one in there because there is like a 90-degree bend on like the second floor, in which it doesn't even have an opening in the chimney, so we would have to end up knocking the chimney apart to get to where the 90-degree is. So all in all, we just stopped all that. We just disconnected it. We're debating whether or not to sell this. We're not going to do anything until we actually figure out what we want. We're going to have the barn. This might be something we might want to consider in the barn. We'll just get some pipe and go straight out and up the barn, and we can actually heat the barn with this. That's an option. These are all options that we're thinking and debating. But for right now, that is our go-to. Really super nice, and it puts off heat. It's heating that warm. The warm air is heating all of the upstairs floors, which then goes all the way up, and we don't have to burn as much wood. So let me just tell you, it's the best thing that we got. So I was going to tell you the brand. I think I told you it's a US Stove KP60. It'll do 2,200 square feet, it says, but I'm not so sure. We've only burned it on low. That is the low setting. But we only burned it on low, and we figured the heat would come up, it would rise up. It'll also go through here and heat this side as well. There are some spaces through this wall that goes over to this side, so we're hoping it uses some of that. And all of this is just gets nicely heated, and we don't have to worry about the water pipes now. So that's what we decided to do. That's what we went with. So now let's talk about cost and everything. So I told you the cost of the wood pellets. Websites that you can go to and look at how much it costs to heat your house, as far as propane, as far as electric, as far as natural gas. Natural gas is not an option for us. We do not have natural gas service anywhere near our home, so that's not an option for us. For us, it's wood, pellet stove, natural gas, or propane, or electric. Propane here in Southwest PA, or oil, yes. We are going to keep the oil furnace hooked up. It will stay in the house. We are debating whether or not we need 1,000 gallons. What's wrong?
First of all, he keeps going upstairs. Second of all, I think he peed.
Oh, no. Life, people, life. Hunter.
See, right there.
It's getting late. I'm gonna go check on the fire. I don't know how well you're seeing. Still smoldering a little. Dinner was really, really good. Darren really enjoyed it. Something's coming over. Well, this is where I'm ending it. Hopefully this whole pile will be gone, at least most of it gone by morning. These coals are pretty thick. Well, hit the like button if you like this sort of thing, just seeing what we do on a day-to-day, and we'll do more of them. Anyways, I'm ending it here, and I want to wish everybody a happy new year and a safe one, and please be very careful. If you're driving, watch the roads. There'll be drunk drivers out there. If you plan on drinking, try Uber to get home or even get there so you don't have to worry about it, or just find a place that you can spend the night to go and hang out at. So with that, I want to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.